Hello, and welcome to another TLC World Spilling the Beans session, where we look at issues facing us today. One thing for sure, we live in uncertain times, what with COVID-19, the effects of climate change, and so on. And so I thought it might be a good idea to spend a few minutes to look at how we might cope with this uncertainty. Of course, we can worry ourselves to death, but that's a response, not coping. Coping with uncertainty is such a big deal these days that just entering how to deal with uncertainty in any one of the various search engines such as Google reveals page after page of advice. Now, I read through a number, and the trouble is that there is no consistency in the advice given, and so no fundamental principles that we can rely on to help us to cope. However, the articles and YouTube links that Google revealed had one thing in common. They all took a worldly, man-made perspective. And let me tell you, there's another perspective, the Christian perspective, that provides fundamental principles of living that this world can't offer. The reason for this is that Christian principles for dealing with all the various aspects of living on this earth, including dealing with uncertainty, are contained in the Bible. This is the authoritative manual for life, written by the architect of life itself, the maker of heaven and earth, God. Man-made perspectives on handling uncertainty, like those found in Google, can never provide ultimate answers because they're not from the source. They're from man, the created, rather than God, the creator. Now, despite the present difficulties in this world, uncertainty is not a new thing. Just a cursory examination of world history indicates that uncertainty has been an ever-present aspect of human existence. I think one of the greatest examples of dealing with uncertainty is contained in the Bible, which, by the way, is an accurate history book as well as a supernatural manual for living. This is the example of Moses, himself uncertain of his leadership ability, who led the Israelites, conservatively estimated at around 2.4 million people, out of the yoke of slavery under the Egyptians. Not only was he initially unsure of his ability to perform this task, but along the way, those being led were often uncertain about what the future held for them, and more than once complained to Moses to let them go back to the uncertainty of their past lives of slavery in Egypt. When Moses died, his right-hand man Joshua took over this enormous task and led them successfully to the land promised to them by God. Now, Moses and Joshua had one thing in common. They were prayerful, and as a result, acutely aware that they were not alone in their task. There is one verse in the Bible that conveys just how Moses and Joshua were able to cope with the uncertainty surrounding the delivery of millions of Israelites from slavery, and this verse contains a promise for all believers and for all time. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. And we read that in Isaiah 41, verse 10. So whatever uncertainties come our way, believers can hold on to this promise. We Christians need to remember this because we can sometimes get dragged into the world's worries during times of uncertainty. If you're not a believer but have been interested to tune into this short message, I want you to explore what Jesus has to offer, because once you accept him as Lord and Savior, no matter what uncertainties this life throws at you, you will know that God is in control and you'll feel his peace. There is one thing for sure from a Lord who never breaks his promises, and this is conveyed in Hebrews 13 verse 5. Never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. So many thanks for being with me, and I hope you tune in next week for another TLC World Coffee Break Insight. Until then, keep safe and healthy, and God bless.